What's up, guys? This is Zach Cancel. You're listening to the Why So Serious show.
And now, stand up and make some noise for your cast of the Why So Serious show on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
I'm not going to do my normal intro because I don't know what day this is going to air. I've got a very busy week. But welcome to the Why So Serious show. Jesse Morrison, Matt Kling, Max Bechtold, and special guest, recovering journalist Mark Morrison for the first 3 segments or so. But we just got to get right into it. Football team, football team, football team, football team, football team, football team. Football team, football team, football team, football team, football team, football team. The Washington football team, we're going back to the 80s, beating big teams. The 80s, again, are back, beating the undefeated Steelers. Alex Smith, comeback player of the year. We did this without our best running back and with Terry McLaurin having a bad game. Big Ben is absolutely trash. The Steelers are trash. Mike Tomlin is a horrible coach. The Washington football team is winning out and winning the Super Bowl. I just said it right now. Aren't you excited, Dad?
Yes, and I can tell you that they will win the Super Bowl because Washington sports teams win championships when you have weird seasons like shortened seasons, strike seasons. The Bullets did it in the 70s. The former Redskins did it in the 80s, I think. And so it's happening this year, guaranteed.
Guaranteeing the championship, the Super Bowl in Tampa, Florida. I'm somehow going to get in. I'm already trying to figure out ways to get in.
You can save on housing because your brother lives there. So
exactly. I have a place to stay.
Jesse, it's in Florida. They're going to have a full stadium. Let's just be honest here.
Vaccine by then.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even matter if there was a vaccine. They'd have a full stadium.
They said right now that they're having 10,000.
Make it 30. Make it 30,000. Yeah, Washington football team tied for first place, but 2 of your 7 losses are against the New York Football Giants.
They have the tiebreaker. I wouldn't call us tied for first place if they have the tiebreaker. That's my personal opinion.
I mean, the Giants had – I don't want to call it an impressive win over the Seahawks because the Seahawks didn't show up to play on Sunday. So,
Matt, are you an Eagles fan? I assume so.
Yes.
I'm so
He's
sorry.
from Philly. He's from Philly, and I don't know if you know this story, recovering journalist Mark Morrison, but I'm a horrible person. Especially about my sports teams.
Your son's going to hell.
Yeah, I'm going to hell and saying hi to Art Briles when I get there.
Please do so.
But so Matt was very excited. His team had just won the Super Bowl. I sent him a Facebook message that says, "We still have more." That was 2018.
Your son is a terrible human being. It's one of the first texts I got. I was on the phone with my father figuring out a flight back to Philly for the parade, and this person just decides to
that's
call up my phone. Yeah, I do get it that the Washington football team has more titles, and I get that the Washington football team this year has a better shot of winning the Super Bowl than
it's a superior franchise.
They've been irrelevant for a while.
Let's just say this, fellas. The old saying that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree is a true one. So there you go. You can blame it on me, Matt.
I would just
You would never do that, Dad.
I would just like to point out that I'm the only person on this call who has a team with a winning record. So I would just like to point that out.
No, you're right about that.
The 8-4 Rams. They have a 67% chance to win the best division in all of the NFL.
Overrated that it's the best. Oh, we got Evan.
It's the best division.
So now
Evan,
we
do you have
a
four
Cowboys
90s
fan,
songs?
fan, and 2 Washington fans on this call.
4 90s songs. I'm sure I can think of 4.
All right,
I
good.
went through a grunge phase, so that shouldn't be too hard.
Nice, nice. That doesn't surprise me because you like hockey.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
it
say
makes
that
sense, doesn't it?
I'll just say that there's no Nirvana on my list just because I figured somebody else would take.
Yeah, there's no Nirvana on my list because I completely forgot about them. So, but then,
I don't know how you do a '90s list and forget about Nirvana, but
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Matt, are you eating McDonald's fries, by the way?
I'm eating fries from a local pizza place.
Oh,
That-
interesting. Pizza place
that's-
fries are low-key underrated.
No, these are really good. I'm gonna show them close to the
Yeah,
camera.
they look good.
They're really crispy.
Those fries.
Yeah, pizza place fries are Max's kind of fries. They're normally crispy. So,
crispy
what'd you say,
fries.
Max?
Crispy fries.
Yeah. Five Guys still has better fries than McDonald's, though.
That's not fair.
Do you want to talk about the joke that is the Philadelphia Eagles situation? Because that's
give
something.
me like 30 seconds on it, and then we got to get to Max's top 25.
I'll give you like 2 sentences most. You ready?
Yes.
This season is over. It's going to be an interesting off season.
I'm excited.
Oh.
Eagles drama is going to be great this offseason. I want like mass
But-
chaos.
You know what I'm more excited for? Cowboys drama.
Oh, Cowboys drama is NFC East drama in general.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sure you're
debatable.
laughing your ass off right now, aren't you, Jesse? It must be so nice for you.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. The Washington football team has to figure out who's going to be their quarterback next year, so they're going to have drama too.
No, we have Alex Smith signed on for 2 more years. Why are people laughing at that? He's completing like 70% of his passes.
70% of his 2-yard passes. Great.
Kyle Allen was
Worked on
playing
Monday.
well before he got hurt. So
Worked on Monday.
Kyle
All right,
Allen
Max,
was
get-
also not that
let's get
bad
in.
before he got hurt.
Let's get into this, Max.
We're fine.
Number 25 of Max's top 25 college football rankings, the real college football rankings.
Making their first appearance, I think I jumped off the bandwagon too early. The Missouri Tigers. 25.
They've looked good.
They've looked very good past those first 2 weeks.
Mizzou. Number 24.
The Oklahoma State Cowboys.
I'm a man. I'm full.
Number 23.
Also making their first appearance in this rankings, I am very excited to say, the San Jose State Spartans.
Sparty.
They're playing in Vegas this weekend, I'm pretty sure.
They are.
Number
6-0.
22.
The Tulsa Hurricanes.
Pooch punt.
Isn't it the golden? No, it's the Golden Hurricane.
Golden Hurricanes.
Yeah, sorry to correct you, but
They're the one team that nobody has watched this season that's in the top 25.
they beat us.
Number
I
20.
watched
We're at 21, right?
Yes.
Number 21.
The Louisiana Raging Cajun.
Louisiana Lafayette.
They're called Louisiana now.
It still said Louisiana Lafayette on one rankings that I saw. Number 20.
Probably the coaches poll. The Colorado Buffaloes.
Buffs.
Good job.
Number 19.
The Texas Longhorns.
Hook 'em.
Yes, sir. Slept on.
Number 18.
The North Carolina Tar Heels.
I don't have a nickname for them. I hate them. Number
Their old coach was
17.
Texas related. Go ahead.
The BYU Cougars.
Boo.
I love them.
Their fans suck.
This is
Actually,
illegal.
they're the nicest fans on earth.
Well, they suck on Twitter. Number 16. Or did we just do that?
Nope. The Iowa Hawkeyes.
The enemy.
Very quiet. Very quiet.
One of the best teams in basketball this year, the Iowa
Absolutely.
Hawkeyes.
They have a Luca.
Yeah.
Number 15.
Iowa State.
Western Wildcats.
They're really smart. Did you know, Max, that they're really smart? They've got some smart players on their team. This team is well coached and is very smart. Number 14.
Shout out Brett Kerlin, who called them losing to whoever they lost to the other week. He said that was going to happen, and it did.
Michigan State.
Michigan State, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 14.
The Miami Hurricanes.
Wow.
You.
Wow.
Number 13.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
Boomer Sooner.
Spencer Rattler is fraudulent.
Fraud. Fraud. All these teams are frauds. Number 12.
The University of Southern California Trojans.
Fight on.
ASU should have beat them.
Yes.
They should have.
Number 11.
The Cincinnati Bearcats.
Way lower than my ranking.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Number 10.
The Indiana Hoosiers.
They don't have a nickname. They're just the Hoosiers.
They're not playing a 10 title game.
Number 9.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Go Dogs. Number 8.
The Iowa State Cyclones.
My grandfather didn't graduate from there, but he went there. Number 7.
The moment you all have been waiting.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
Yes.
Coast of Clear Santa Clauses.
Yes.
They're impressive. They're really good.
Max really overrates BYU. Number 5, right? We're at 5.
No, we're at 6.
We're at 6. Number 6.
The Florida Gators.
The Swamp. Number 4. 5.
The
I can't.
The team that for some reason a lot of people think has a great resume that really doesn't have that amazing of a resume, the Texas A&M Aggies.
Giggle and
The team that lost by 4 touchdowns and beat the winless Vanderbilt Commodores by 5 points. They don't have the best resume in college football.
Get ready for my takes. Okay, number 3.
Number 4.
Number 4. I'm really bad at that counting today.
The Clemson Tigers.
Smart.
Run down the hill. Touch the rock. Number 2.
Number 3.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
Boo. Big Ten bias. OHIO.
The Ohio State University.
They're
Number
actually the
2.
second best. They're actually the second best team in college football. But
Terrible take. Number 2.
the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Boo. Number 1.
This isn't changing ever, probably. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Roll Tide. Okay, I got a lot of takes here. Max is this is his worst rankings of all of them. It's absolutely atrocious. The top 4 is number 1 Alabama, number 2 Clemson, number 3 Texas A&M, number 4 Florida. Texas A&M has the best resume of one loss.
Clemson over Notre Dame.
They beat Florida, and what else have they done?
No, that's the best win of the season. Don't tell me that Notre Dame's win. Don't tell me that Notre Dame's win over Clemson is the best win of the season.
If you think Texas A&M is so good, then why isn't Alabama beating Texas A&M by 4 touchdowns the best win of the season?
I mean, maybe it is, but I mean, Alabama rolls over everyone. But let me get back to my point.
Player in college football, he is not good at all.
Ohio State hasn't played enough games. There's so many teams with more wins. Yes, they have a loss, but with more.
There's so many teams with more wins. That's because they have played more games.
Yeah, play games. Play games. Get the championship. I'm sorry. It's a tough year. It's a tough year. But it shouldn't excuse Ohio State, and they shouldn't just make it because they're talented. Also, I'm not sure they're that talented. They haven't shown me that they're that talented. They beat Indiana by a touchdown. Indiana came back on them. Yes, Indiana is a good team, but they should be blown out by that Ohio State team if it is that good.
Yeah,
So,
and A&M
no.
should beat Vandy by more than 5 points.
Exactly.
Also, Cincinnati is my number 5 team.
Other than Florida, show me the impressive win for Texas A&M. Just
Doesn't matter.
But you just said they have a better resume. They don't.
They beat Florida. Florida, in my opinion, has the only.
Indiana.
Florida is going to beat Alabama.
Whoa.
100%.
Whoa.
100%. Florida is going to beat Alabama.
None of this matters because I think this is the year that I can't remember a year in college football that I'm more confident that one individual team is the best team in college football. I even last year, LSU, I'm not sure I was this far ahead as I am with this current Alabama team. They might legitimately have the best passing game and best running game in all of college football.
Jeremy says that Jeremy Stell, who'll join us later, he says that Mac Jones isn't a good NFL prospect.
I mean, I don't think he's a great one, but I think he's a decent one.
When was the last time an Alabama quarterback had any type of success in the NFL, though?
Tua is doing it right now.
Okay, he's
Jalen-
7
Get it.
games. It's too early to say that Tua's a star.
AJ McCarron did not
And
get enough
also,
of a shot.
Mac Jones is not Tua.
I think the
We're not
last
making that
one.
comparison here, Jesse.
I think the last one was Broadway Joe Namath. I'm pretty sure.
He had one good season.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of the most over. He's the
Oh,
third.
right.
He's the second most overrated quarterback in the Hall of Fame.
Terry
First is Terry Bradshaw.
and then Joe Namath, and then Peyton Manning.
Okay, we're not
Troy
opening that
Aikman.
can of worms right now.
Troy Aikman.
The show's been controversial enough already. Just leave it at that.
But I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this SEC title game, which is next Saturday.
Yeah, can they just play it this week? I really want to watch.
Yeah, honestly, like they should just make the championships this week. That like the ACC teams aren't going to play. Ohio State's not playing. Northwestern will. The American Conference, that Cincy and Tulsa were supposed to play this week, but they canceled that game, so they're going to have the championship next week.
And that's going to be like a month off for Cincinnati to prepare for this.
Yeah, Iowa State, Oklahoma. That'll be an entertaining game.
I can't wait for that game. The first one was really good between those two teams. That's one of the best games of the season.
And then
It'll
what's
be
our
48 to 45.
what's our Pac-12 title game going to be? Do we know yet?
USC
What's
and
the tiebreaker on USC Colorado? Because they didn't play. They're both undefeated.
I don't know, but Big Noon Saturday is a joke this week. It is Colorado and Utah.
Wait,
Yeah, it's
they
Ohio State
flexed
Michigan.
that into
They flexed Colorado and Utah. It is a joke.
I mean, Utah's one of the biggest programs in the Pac-12, and
Yeah,
Colorado.
but Utah sucks this year.
Yeah, but they will have put Colorado on the thing. Look at every Big Noon Saturday this year. ASU USC was good. Indiana Ohio State was good. Other than that,
I think Saturday night
all of
football
their
is actually. I think Saturday night football has actually been better this year. I think Saturday night football has actually been better than Big Noon.
Big Noon Saturday has been really bad this year.
They've all been bad this year. Every
Would have-
game's been bad this year.
Hold on. Do you guys think ASU would have a legitimate claim to the Pac-12 championship or to play in it if they had won both of their games?
No, Colorado.
If
No,
they beat
I don't even
USC
think this Ohio State thing is such just a pander of the Big Ten. The Big
If they
Ten
beat
is.
USC, why not? Because USC's gonna play in the Pac-12 title game.
I don't disagree.
I think that Ohio State. I think that is one of the most ridiculous things. They
Why?
played
It's not their
5 games.
It's not their fault. 2 of them were canceled by the other teams.
You can't say they don't.
Too bad.
It's not their fault that you induct them. I mean, come on.
Too bad. Indiana should get it.
No, they shouldn't. Ohio State beat Indiana.
Hold up. I was today years old when I realized Arizona State's only played 2 games.
Yeah.
You went there.
I know. There.
How did you miss that? You went there.
No, I know they had a bunch of games canceled. I know they played last week, but I thought they played a 3rd game somewhere. Like,
Recovering journalist
I just want to speak on something real quick. There are 2 teams in all of the FBS who are at least 4-0 and have won every game by double digits.
okay.
Can you name them?
Hold on, I got it.
Bama.
And San Jose State.
Correct. And San Jose State is not ranked. They're 5-0, have won every game by at least 10 points. And they are ranked behind Marshall in most of the polls, who just lost 20-0 to a 1-3 team.
Yeah, Grant Wells really ruined his Heisman chances in that
Hold
game.
up, and they're behind Buffalo too. Like Buffalo's in the AP poll, and San Jose State received votes.
That's
I don't
another
know
one.
how San Jose
Buffalo's
State
played.
is being ranked at this point.
That's another one. Buffalo's played like 4 games, and somebody's putting them in the MAC championship game. This season is ridiculous. I don't get it.
But it's ridiculous all the way around. Just because the SEC lets everybody play with COVID doesn't mean that they're better than everyone else.
No. Like, I love the guy, but like Matt Berry is on Twitter saying like the SEC, Big 12, and ACC handled this better than the Pac-12 and the Big 10. No, they're not. They just have worse testing, so you don't know who has COVID and who doesn't.
They're letting people play. They're letting people storm the field after games.
That was
It's so
one game.
ridiculous.
It was one
Notre
game.
Dame, yeah, Notre Dame.
But okay, sure, it's one game. They're allowing 40,000 people. Go watch a Georgia football game and tell me that is like 20% capacity. It is not.
No, Texas A&M has like 40,000 people in there, and they're loud, and they cause a home field advantage.
They're playing in front of packed houses.
like there's like one mask for every like 8 people at the stadium.
Hey, how about that Arizona? How about that high school game in Arizona that the refs
Don't even
stopped?
talk. Don't like it was just a normal Friday night in there, like in high school football land.
Like that. Like I can't believe that some first of all, my state doesn't even have high school football until the spring, and second of all, the fact that they actually stopped a game because people weren't wearing masks is.
Oh yeah, there was that.
That's not even the
call it the
craziest
most
high school football
120
thing
thing
that
of
happened this
2020.
week, though. The guy
Can I get serious on you guys?
who charged the referee, that we need to talk about that. That
Okay.
was
Oh
crazy.
yeah,
I'm not even sure that's the craziest thing.
Okay,
Did you see
so-
the Alabama high school football game?
That was insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So high school football is wild, but that's the 3rd time in like the last 5 years that there's been an attack on a ref in Texas high school football. Like
It's Texas high
is
school
known-
football.
Yeah,
It's
Texas is known for taking high school football seriously, but come on, guys. Like, it's not that important. You don't need to get an assault charge because you got tossed from a game. Come on. Anyway, I
It
just
was
need to get
probably
that.
a really bad call by a terrible high school ref. I think his defense in court should be, it was a bad call. What was I going to do? Just have to tackle the ref.
Well,
yeah, it's very unprofessional.
All right. Recovering journalist Mark Morrison had a very strong college football take.
Well, I was just going to ask if it was okay to get serious on you.
I mean, we were doing some pretty serious talk there, but like we also
I mean, the whole mask thing and crowds and stadiums. This was today with the deaths from the coronavirus, the 3rd deadliest day in the country's history,
Mm-hmm.
behind one of the battles of the Civil War and when Galveston was wiped out by a hurricane at the turn of the previous century. This was worse. More people died today than 9/11, so I just
football,
think it's
but
totally
we need
irresponsible.
football because we're America and we're gonna push forward and
Totally
we're gonna play college football because that's who we are. Am I right, guys? Everybody,
Totally
football.
Okay,
Max.
let's move on. It's East Coast. I'm old and it's past my bedtime.
Wow, I have to go to bed at midnight instead of 9:30.
All
All right, Mount Rushmore of 90s songs. I will start it off with my first selection, and as many people know, I am a Virginia Tech Hokies fan, and they run out to Inner Sandman. So Inner Sandman by Metallica, great song, maybe the best heavy metal song of all time. A lot of people would disagree with me, call it a sellout song, but if you've not heard it, look it up. I'm not going to play it.
Hold up. Jesse, crazy story. This morning I actually was on YouTube and a few years ago when Clemson played Virginia Tech, ABC aired Virginia Tech's entire walkout into
They
the
normally
stadium.
do during a Tech game.
That's a sweet video. That one is.
It's a sweet video. They only played Enter Sandman for like 20 seconds.
That's how it normally is.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I think of Enter Sandman as the Mariano Rivera theme song. So
Muted. Yeah, he's muted. Let's go. You're supposed to, Dad. Let's go.
Hokies.
Let's go.
Hokies.
Right. So can I go next because I'm gonna play off of yours too?
Okay, Matt, just unmute yourself. Max, your turn.
Well, for similar reasons as Jesse, I also have a college football team that I really like that has a iconic 90s song as one of their traditions, which is Jump Around. The cheesiest song you'll ever hear in your life, but it is really, really fun. And it's a great experience inside of Camp Randall. And just for branding reasons, I had to take it.
What team?
Wisconsin.
Gotcha.
On
End of the third
Wisconsin.
quarter. Yep, end of third quarter every game.
Good
Yep.
pick.
Even now with no fans in the stands, the players
Yep.
just jump around.
It's really apocalyptic. The no fans jump around is.
Yeah, same thing with the 250 fans in our Sandman. Because Tech doesn't lie about their numbers. There's been either between 250 and 1,000 fans in the stadium, and it has looked like it. Recovering journalist Mark Morrison.
All right. Get ready.
covered music in the 90s. He's playing them too.
Mm-hmm. I like this one.
Are you able to hear that?
Yep, we heard it.
That's Aerosmith.
Yep.
Crying. So start off with a power ballad by Aerosmith. That's my number one pick. My first pick, not my number one.
nice.
Matt Kling, stay on that theme with your first one.
You want me to go with the Aerosmith, even though Aerosmith was not my first? That's fine.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with the theme song from the movie Armageddon. I don't want to miss a thing. It's a great power ballad that you wouldn't even think is from a movie, but it's one of my favorite songs ever. Aerosmith, a great band that was able to do it across several decades.
Like 4. It's amazing. They were like popular in 4 decades.
I've got a fun fact about that song. It is one of the only pieces of media ever to be nominated for an Oscar and a Razzie. That song was. I was nominated for Best Original Song and Worst Original Song.
Wait, there was a
It's
worst
got-
original song, Razzie? Hold up,
Yeah.
I need to find this out.
It's a controversial song within Aerosmith, but I think it's a good song. It's not a bad song. Steven Tyler sounds really good on it, and I think that's what that people need to realize that.
Yeah.
I don't want to close my eyes is a great chorus. Also, I think the power ballad is officially dead.
Yeah. I agree.
Oh, well, we can argue that after this segment.
We can. Evan, what is your first choice?
I'm going to do a full 360 from what you guys have been talking about. California Love, Tupac, rest in peace. My guy died on my birthday, unfortunately, but he is a legend and always will be. So respect to
Dr.
him.
Dre also in that song. Don't forget.
Mhm.
Tupac and Dr. Dre.
Yep.
All right, you get another one, Evan, because
Nope.
we're doing Snake.
Yeah.
I've got another list too.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have to do 2 of Max's mom.
Yes. So her first one was "Hold On" by Wilson Phillips.
I
Ooh.
don't know that song.
I don't really. I knew it. Like I went and listened to it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I recognize this song," but I didn't know it that well.
I know it.
Then her second choice was, of course, we are big Backstreet Boys fans in our family, and she took the most iconic one, debatably, which is "I Want It That Way."
I like Backstreet's Back better. It's a much better song.
Well, her next one, in case that was taken, which is obviously reasonable, her next one for Backstreet Boys was "Larger Than Life."
I don't know that one.
Which is great.
That's a great
That's just-
song, too.
That's usually what they open their concerts with, is Larger Than Life.
You know the opening song of Backstreet.
I've been to 3 of their concerts. I mean, I need to know it.
Evan, your next one.
All right, another classic, Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice. I've listened to that way more than I probably should have. Little before my time, but still a bumper all
Great
the
song.
time.
Great song.
Yep.
I just want to hop off of that. One of my honorable mentions was Nothing But a G Thing. Also a great song, too.
Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Long Beach.
Yeah,
Isn't that they say Long Beach, right?
I feel like people forget the 90s was a good decade for hip-hop, too.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Punch thing gets a bunch of attention, but hip-hop was bumping in the 90s, too.
Yeah. Alrighty, Matt.
So, and I'm going with another power ballad, and I categorize this as a power ballad. It is one of the greatest. It just falls outside my list of the top 10 songs ever. Song from 1998 by the Goo Goo Dolls, Iris.
Good song.
Yeah.
Good acoustic guitar intro.
Very good acoustic guitar intro, very good electric guitar solo.
I think it's one of those songs where the guitar player has 2 guitars going on at the same time.
Yeah, something like that.
Recovering journalist Mark Morrison, recovering 90s music critic Mark Morrison.
All right, I've got my next one queued up. You ready?
Yep, play it. Great song.
Yeah.
This is a 90s song, but it's great.
That would without a doubt be on my dad's, too.
That, by the
And,
way,
I've heard Jesse perform that song at an open mic, so it was pretty cool when he played it.
Yeah. What's the name of the song though, and who's it by?
Oh, Mary Jane's Last Dance. Tom Petty. By Tom Petty.
In the Heartbreakers. Okay.
And the Heartbreakers.
Max, you're second.
All right. Well, since I did my mom's Backstreet Boys one, I had to do mine as well, which is my favorite Backstreet Boys song, which is "Shape of My Heart." Very, very tender, very nice. I like it. They really lean on Brian and AJ, who are their 2 strongest singers, and I like that about that song.
Max, you did listen to Back Porch Bottle Service, courtesy of AJ McLean, correct?
Yeah, it's not the best work.
It's not his best work. It's maybe the douchiest song of all time.
That's fitting of him.
It's pretty bad. Also,
I never got to cover Backstreet Boys, but I did cover Boys to Men.
Oh, then you're gonna like my next song.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Boys to Men, best national anthem performers in the world right now.
Yes.
Their national anthems are always amazing.
All right.
They ended their concert with a magic trick where they disappeared from like a box that was hung from the stage. It was actually pretty cool.
I don't know, Max. The guy with the trumpet at all the Cowboys games is pretty sick. I think I have to go with him. I forget his name, but that dude can play the trumpet like nobody else.
Boys to Men are the first ones to make the national anthem sexy to me, so I think.
I don't know. Trumpet is pretty sexy, bro. They might have some competition. I wish I knew that guy's name, by the way. Like I just can't think of it right now.
By the way, we're not doing polls tonight because Twitter's algorithm is broken on polls. So unfortunately, we're not doing polls. But if we were, then I would say our trumpet's sexy. But unfortunately, again, like I said, Twitter will say that you have like 1 vote, and then like at the end of your poll, you'll have all your votes in. So it's like
But what's sexier, the trumpet or Boys to Men?
I don't think we really need to answer that.
Yeah.
Definitely Boys to Men. Like I mean, anybody that like sings like that and is like, I don't know, the 90s R&B stars are all pretty sexy.
Yeah.
Also, put that on the poll. Are the 90s R&B stars all pretty sexy? But I can't because, again, the Twitter algorithm is broken. But all right, I've got 2 choices here. And my first one that I had queued up is Still Dre by Dr. Dre. Hi, Mallory. By Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. It is an amazing song. It's got my favorite intro, like, ever. So, yeah, I'm definitely doing that one. And then after that, I will go with my favorite country song, maybe of all time. I'm going off of this mostly based off the music video, except for the fact that he's wearing a Cowboys jersey. But his stunt double, or him, slalom water skis through, I guess, the river. But it's Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson. Great song.
Okay.
All right, back to Max.
All right, so my next one, it's a lot because the video is the most 90s video you can possibly imagine, which is Mo Money, Mo Problems by Notorious B.I.G., Diddy, and Mace. And the music video is incredibly 90s.
Yeah, it's also sad, too, because, like, they did it after he died, so, like, you just see, like, a little bit. Also, that song isn't very much Biggie. It's more like the other two guys and then Biggie at the end of it. But, yeah.
It's a great song, though.
All right, recovering journalist Mark Morrison.
I don't know. I've got so many to pick from here. So I think this one is more 90s. Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you sure that wasn't an 80s song?
No, it's
Fred.
It's definitely 90s.
I am too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
There you go.
So I guess that's actually EDM. I think that counts as electronic dance music.
No.
I don't know about that.
Like early electronic dance music.
I mean, you could say Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time is electric dance music.
I would call that more comedy than anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I would call it horrible, actually. But I had to put one up there that is just, the 90s. So
I've got a really horrible one up next. So
if the Twitter algorithm was working, then I would put "It Wasn't Horrible" on the poll, but I can't. Because, again, the Twitter algorithm would not have us get any votes.
Okay.
And for the record, Jesse, that is I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred.
Yeah, big star, right? Said Fred.
Definitely not a one-hit wonder.
Definitely not.
No.
Also, is anybody going to do Achy Breaky Heart?
no.
No, but I have a country song for my last one, and it's a country song that I just changed for my last one. But I'm getting to my third one now, correct, Mr. Jesse?
Yes, your third one.
All right, my third one that I teased a moment ago is by one of the greatest 90s groups from Motown, Philly, Boys to Men. The song is End of the Road by
I
Boys
don't
to
know
Men.
that one, but my dad probably does.
By the way, my camera just went out, so I might be going like this for a few minutes.
Okay.
Let's figure it out.
Evan.
So I just want to start this off by saying I'm very sad that Jeremy Schnell is not here for this one because the song is Jeremy by Pearl Jam. I feel like he would have gotten a kick out of that one. Really sad song. If you know the backstory, it's based off of an incident that happened like 20 minutes from where I am right now in Richardson, Texas. You guys can look it up. I'm not going to talk about it on here. Good
Back
song.
here didn't care. King Jeremy was wicked. Sorry.
Great rendition, Jesse. You sound
mean-
exactly like Vedder.
I've seen Eddie Vedder. It was good.
I wish I had hair like that. Not his voice, though. I'm cool with my voice.
I like his voice, actually. It works. Who's next? I'm
I
forgetting.
think it's me again.
It's Max's mother's list.
Mallory, do you have 90s songs?
It's my mother.
Mallory apparently has 90s songs. Give us 3 90s songs.
No
I
reading
can't give
off the
3
album
right now.
cover
I
time.
can give 1. Christina
Hey.
Aguilera, Genie, Genie in a Bottle,
Is Genie in the
Sure.
Bottle a 90s song?
Yes.
1999.
Jeez. Getting old. Max.
You.
Well, we talked about really bad '90s songs earlier, so I just need to throw out "Wannabe" by Spice Girls.
Yes.
I love her. I just want to be your friend.
It's very much a '90s song. And then her other one was "Just a Girl" by No Doubt.
Oh, good
Great
one.
intro, horrible singer.
It's a great intro though. That
Oh.
like starting guitar
Wow.
part.
Jeremy Schnell's
Yeah.
back with us. Mallory, do you have multiple choices, or do you just?
Backstreet Boys. Wait, I'm thinking of this song.
Good chance
I'm
it's
looking
already
up
been said. Because
Good
Max
chance
rattled
it's
off
already
like
been
five.
said.
Yeah.
Bye.
No, that's
That's
insane.
insane.
That's
That's-
insane. I think that's a 2000 song.
At 2000.
Right on the border.
2000.
Yep.
Mallory, where
Creeped
are you?
by Radiohead.
Creep by Radiohead. There we go.
Wow.
There we go. All right, Mallory.
I thought that
It's a
myself.
song by the Social Network.
Just keep thinking and mute yourself, please. Jeremy, do you have any songs? Or are you sitting this one out?
I just know that all the '90s. I just know that all the '90s song, like they would just put like an A unnecessarily at the end of words. They go, yeah.
Evan.
I'm gonna go with another very sad song. I don't know what was going on in the '90s, but there was a lot of like sad people, I guess. It's "Rooster" by Alice in Chains. I actually like Alice in Chains. I know they're a little like hard for some people, but I don't know. There's just something about them that appeals.
That's
to
an
me.
awesome song. Alice in Chains is underrated in the grunge conversation. I could have put Man in the Box on there. Man in the Box is a great song. Really hard vocal song to sing.
Yeah, it just like slaps you in the face. But sometimes you need that, you know, it gets you pumped for your day or whatever it is, you know, it works for me.
Lane Staley, who is now deceased.
Very, very long deceased.
Very long deceased, yeah.
Those guys did
the
not,
second-
yeah, they did
second
not
of
turn
the
out great.
grunge guys too. He is the best grunge singer of the grunge bands. Matt.
All right, 3 honorable mentions that just missed the list. The song that was the #1 song when I was born was the Bayside Boys remix of Macarena by Los Del Rio. Very much a 90s song.
How do you guys like '90s music? I really don't understand it.
Okay, the next honorable mention is going to be probably the #1 song on the Billboard chart by the end of the month. The #1 Christmas song in the modern era, "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey.
All I want for Christmas is you.
The
All I
third-
want from Chris Bosh is to.
All right, I'm just confirming. Okay, the third honorable mention, which was on my original list, which I just changed minutes ago. The third song, and this has a special meaning for me because this was the first song that I heard as I was waiting to get into a club for the first time right after I turned 21.
Jeremy,
Was the great Shania Twain song, "Man, I Feel Like a Woman."
best thing about being a woman
All right.
Great for a
is
great
the
song.
prerogative
And
to
like
have a
a
little fun.
Okay. So here's my fourth choice, and I'm sticking with the country theme. This artist was the biggest artist of all genres in the 1990s. Garth Brooks, "Friends in Low Places." Wait a minute, did I just steal yours?
No, my dad has like a bunch in his pocket.
My roots, I showed up in boots.
This is not even. This is not. This is a cover.
If you go to the Wynn in Las Vegas, you can see a frog perform this song. That's true.
And by the way, that "Friends in Low Places" might be the only song where there's an added third verse during concerts and concerts only.
Yes, and sometimes he doesn't do it. Luckily, when I covered a Garth Brooks concert, fun fact about Garth Brooks, I have covered a Garth Brooks concert. My father has covered a Garth Brooks concert. I think my Garth Brooks concert was a little bit more of a cool experience because it was at State Farm Stadium in Glendale.
Yeah. Right now I have a ticket for so Garth Brooks was and still is supposed to be the first artist to perform at Allegiant Stadium. Wow. I bought 4 tickets before the pandemic. I returned 3 of those tickets, got my money back, so I still am holding on to 1 ticket. I don't know when that concert's going to be. Hopefully it's before my time here in Vegas is up, but I do plan on going to the first show at Allegiant Stadium, which will be by Garth Brooks.
But yeah, Larry Fitzgerald came out on stage. That was cool. And Garth performed the whole show in an Arizona Cardinals #1 Garth Brooks jersey.
Yeah, he does that. He does that all the time. In fact, he wore a Barry Sanders jersey at a Lions game at the Lions Stadium earlier this year in Detroit, and people got really mad at him because they thought it was a Bernie Sanders jersey.
That was one of my favorite days on Twitter.
Yes, this is one of my favorite days. It's one of my favorite moments of 2020 was
also Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks is the cringiest old celebrity. Like he has the weirdest.
Whoa! There's a lot of people up there.
But like that, as far as like horrible dad joke, like he's just so bad. Like you've seen the Facebook video, right? Were you on that show when I played the Facebook video? Evan was.
That was terrible. That was hard to watch.
He's really bad. Like he's trying to be cool. He doesn't need to be cool. Garth Brooks is going to sell out any stadium that he ever plays. So he doesn't need to do that, but he does it anyway. All right. Recovering journalist Mark Morrison, your last selection.
Okay, and I would like to come back with some honorable mentions, but I'll stick with this one. But come back to me after you're done, okay, Jesse? And I guarantee, or I'd be shocked if anybody has heard of this song or this group other than Jesse, and Jesse only because I've shared it with him one time. Here it goes.
Like, isn't it that what's that
name?
It's like the name of a car, and it's like
their song title is Voodoo Cadillac, and the band is Southern Culture on the Skids.
Yeah, no, don't know the band. Also, that was probably one of your shows that you covered at like the Jefferson Center, which probably RIP at this point, Dad. Am I right?
No, they're still around. They're still kicking. They're a good group, and actually 2 of their members are from Roanoke.
I'm talking about RIP the Jefferson Center.
Oh, it's not going right now.
I mean, yeah. So those local music venues like that are probably gonna close. So RIP the Jefferson Center. Used to be a high school, by the way. Honorable mentions, Dad, before we go to me.
Well, I would have picked it, but I figured somebody else would have picked it first. You got to go with "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana in the 90s. It's the most iconic 90s song, probably. Music.
You
I was
say
just leaving that one for someone
favorite.
else. Yeah,
I was kind of leaving it for somebody else because it was so obvious.
Yeah.
So that's one, and then
everybody.
We've all heard it.
3, 2, 1.
And then I've got this one.
Which one?
Give it a minute.
Yes.
I'm surprised nobody picked that one.
What is this one? I don't know this one.
One by U2, right?
One by U2.
Yeah.
I kind of skip over 90s U2 for some reason.
No, that's a good song and a good album too. Yeah.
And then I've got one instrumental from Green Day.
Instrumental from Green Day.
All right.
All right, this segment is going on very long, but
I guess I should stop.
it's fine. Whoops, didn't mean to play that anymore. But my last
No, it's me.
no.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
Max.
Okay, I do have 3 honorable mentions, and I call these the mid-2000s generic prom songs, which are
Mid-90s?
no, these are mid-2000s because like that's when the proms finally caught up with.
Oh yeah.
Is,
Proms always play music continuously.
Oasis by Wonderwall.
Yes.
Wonderwall by Oasis.
Wonderwall by
You got that
Oasis.
backwards.
Yes.
You got
I always
that
get that.
Fine.
mixed.
That was my third one.
There,
Oh yeah, Mallory still has songs.
Still here?
and then Buddy Holly by Weezer,
Yes.
and Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I could put one of their songs on mine.
So my final one is perhaps I know that this is a big like umbrella to like put something on there. And I know that there's already been one that's up there for cheesiest song ever. But I think that Summer Girls by LFO might just be the cheesiest song of all time. And is my last pick.
All right,
the funniest song ever.
we have to play this, by the way.
Yeah, it might be the funniest song ever. Unfortunately, 2 of the 3 members of LFO have passed away, so rest in peace to them. But they left with a masterpiece.
Wait for this drop. It's so dumb.
Oh, I know this one.
For the summer. The scratches on like the turntables are like not even good. There's nothing redeemable about that song.
Look, I
Words suck,
remember
the
that.
instrument-
Okay, somewhat of an embarrassing-ish moment. I don't know what to call what the description of the moment is, but I remember that song from my uncle's 50th birthday party. He rented a karaoke machine, and my aunt and my cousin performed that song. And then right after that, I performed Happy by Pharrell Williams.
Those 2 songs back to back might be the worst combination of back to back songs I've ever heard.
It's a very upbeat song. What are you talking about?
Max would be in the front row, smiling and clapping.
Happy,
What about
Happy is too stupid for Max.
what about "Oops, I Did It Again" by Britney Spears? That's another terrible '90s song.
really is.
Outta
Wait,
here with
no,
that.
yeah,
Get out of
maybe
here one more time.
Maybe One More Time is the iconic 90s song from her.
I believe that was on my mom's honorable mentions. My mom had some gems of honorable mentions.
Mallory, you have 2 more songs. Let's hear them.
She had Wonderwall as her third.
Well, she needs to pick a different one because she just does.
Okay. Did someone already say "Baby One More Time" by Britney Spears?
No, we were just talking about it, but
Other than it's one of my mom's.
honorable mentions, but it's fine. Yep. One more time. Baby, one
That
more
one and Vogue, Madonna.
That was also one of my mom's honorable mentions.
I can't stand anything about
My
it.
mom's honorable mentions were "Steal My Sunshine," Vogue, and "Baby One More Time."
Steal My Sunshine. Okay. Honorable mentions for me have to
The
be.
segment was going on too long. Why do we need to hear your honorable mentions?
Because that's the point of the segment, Jeremy.
Yeah,
I'm not-
Matt, you tell him.
Takes on 90s songs.
Coming out in 1999, "What's My Age Again" by Blink-182. It's a great song. I would probably go "Undone," the Sweater song. I really like that song by Weezer. I like Weezer a lot. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I forget the name of the song.
Under the Bridge.
I'll just say "Under the Bridge." Yeah. "Under the Bridge" is a good one, but I can't remember "What You Got, I Gotta Give It to You." That song. Give it away. That's the one that I like. There's a lot more that I could go.
Ooh,
for.
also have to give some shout out to '90s Eminem too.
90s Eminem,
Yeah.
yes, also good. And
Kid Rock. Kid Rock Cowboy came out in the 90s.
Good song. I will admit that's a good song.
Well, it's such a good. It's so
All
good.
right, what's your final song, Jesse?
My final song is "Even Flow" by Pearl Jam.
Nice.
Breather, rest his head on a pillow made of concrete.
I would like to propose that we end this segment with probably one of the greatest instrumental songs to come out of the 90s, and this, of course, being the theme for the NBA on NBC in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Preview of the
Give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Woo!
preview
All-time classic.
preview of the 2000s Mount Rushmore songs. The song that I will choose, one of the songs that I will choose, samples that song. Sorry, Max, if that was on your
Art
list.
of Champion.
What?
You
Art
just
of the
you
Champion.
can't spoil you can't
Hold on.
spoil it. Like,
So next week is 2000 songs. Oh gosh, this is
I don't
gonna
know what
be
next week is. I think next week is 60s songs.
we gotta do Christmas songs.
Christmas songs.
Jeremy,
I don't know if I can do that, bro.
Can we please just
I
go to
don't think I know
2000
4, to be
already?
honest with you.
All right. Well, recovering journalist Mark Morrison, do you have anything else to add to the show?
Yes. It's been great. I appreciate it. Everybody, good night. Thanks, Jesse.
Go check out his content. You can pay for it on the Roanoke Times archives. All of his concert reviews from like 30 years ago. Like 15 cents an article, I think.
Damn, he knows how to make an exit, though. I give him credit for that. That was pretty sweet.
All righty. Do we do Tom Brenneman now or LPGA now?
LPGA.
Yeah, let's start easy here.
His name is
LPGA.
Thom. Give him his name is Thom.
Okay, Tom Brenneman. All right. But first, we're going to do LPGA. There's a major this weekend. Max, I believe it is it's the U.S. Open, correct?
It is the U.S. Women's Open, played in Houston this year. It's actually played at 2 courses. First time a major championship has ever been played at one or more than one course.
I really like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so half of the players are going to play one course on Thursday, while the other half play another course, and then they're going to switch on Friday.
Is it at the same golf club, or is it like two?
I believe it's all one facility.
Okay.
They're playing 2 different courses. It should be a really interesting week. A lot of I don't think this is a week we're going to see a top 10 player in the world win on the LPGA Tour. I'm going to go for somebody a little bit more below the radar. Has been playing good golf recently. Won a tournament this year, her first ever. I'm going with Mel Reid as my pick. I think that Brooke Henderson will be the best competing top 10 player in the world. So if you're looking to, have some fun, betting on stuff or something, if you want, those would be the players that I'd put some money behind. And I think it should be a really good tournament. It's probably the first major ever played this late in the year. And so I think it's kind of an interesting little scheduling quirk, and I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great event.
How many Sun Devils?
Oh, well, I would say there's probably 5 or 6 maybe. Definitely Munoz.
I don't think Olivia is playing this one.
She might be, just because this is one that a lot more newer players get into. Generally, U.S. Women's Open are. But Munoz is definitely in. Saganda is definitely going to be in. I'm probably blanking on other ones that are pretty obvious, but they'll certainly be 4. Anna Nordquist will be in, so there'll be 4 or 5 for sure.
So Olivia told me that it was going to be hard for her to get in it, but as I look up a couple of stories here, Olivia Mahaffey seeks liftoff at U.S. Women's Open in Houston.
Yep, and Linnea Strom will be in there too, so there'll be at least 5 Sun Devils.
Sweet, that's awesome. All right, well, Max, Max, do we have permission to laugh about this?
Yeah. Well, here I'll just start with my thoughts on Tom Brenneman, which is
It's Tom for bleep's sake.
Tom Brenneman. It's Tom.
No, Jeremy's
Nice.
So my thoughts on
I can't describe it. But Max, what do you think about real life Jim Brockmeyer?
I think it's a very delicate situation that deserves a lot of context and context, and I think it's really tricky to talk about, as there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos, and that'll be a home run, and so that'll make a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'll be playing on this headset again, whether that be for the Reds or my bosses at Fox.
As soon as you started talking about that, I was like, yeah, he's not. But like seriously, the Levitard show brought this up today. Who is he more like, Kenny Powers or real life Brockmeyer? Like, he's literally calling baseball games in the Puerto Rican Winter League right now.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a big storyline for both of them. So I don't know where to go with it.
If he hadn't said a slur, he would be calling games for Fox NFL right now. But he's calling the Puerto Rican Winter League. It is so just like Brockmeyer.
Well,
You're still muted, Matt.
He doesn't know he's muted.
You do not unmute yourself. It doesn't work sometimes on my end.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Look, you have to understand that the Brockmeyer and the Brenneman situations are two completely different situations.
Yes, it wasn't really Brockmeyer's fault.
Jim Brockmeyer was
Brockmeyer's wife's fault. It was his wife's fault.
Yeah. Jim Brockmeyer is a raging alcoholic whose wife just decided to go crazy. And so he decided to lock himself in a broadcast booth and start talking about what his wife did to his audience in Kansas City. Tom Brenneman, it was a very bad slur what he said on a hot mic moment, and that's a very indefensible thing that he did. The fact that he was able to land a job so quickly is very surprising to me.
What's worse, though? Not a job or Puerto Rican League?
I was going to say, is this really him landing a job? I mean, this is like Hugh Freeze being hired at Liberty. It's like...
Well, I mean, Hugh Freeze has done a really good job at Liberty.
Yeah, I'm sure will be the best Puerto Rican League baseball announcer they've had in a while.
Here's the thing. Do people even realize the Puerto Rican Winter League exists?
I know the Dominican Winter League and the Arizona Fall League, but I did not know about this Puerto Rican League.
There's the Australian Baseball League, where a recent Cronkite graduate is one of the play-by-play voices for one of the teams. Nick Batters is the voice of the Melbourne Aces. And they actually have. Do you remember Delman Young, Jesse?
Yeah, he doesn't do media. I reached out to Nick, and Nick told me that he doesn't even do media with him, and he's the team broadcaster.
Yeah. Really?
It was in my psychology class one year.
Thanks, Max. Really great addition to the show there.
But I mean, but what is the more surprising thing at this point in time, that Delman Young is just playing baseball in Australia, or that Tom Brenneman is calling Winter League baseball in Puerto Rico after leaving Fox and the
Delman Young. Also, Delman Young had like an anti-Semitic moment, if I remember right. So like they both had that sketchy moment in the past. One of them did have maybe the most exciting moment in Orioles history in my lifetime. So I watched the video of the stadium reacting to that many times, over and over again. I've shown it to Jeremy before. It was very good.
To me 10 times, not before, not just once. It's been shown to me 10 times, like it was the first time he's showing it to me.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I have big news to share with you about this Australian Baseball League. Not only is Delman Young in this league, Manny Ramirez is in this league.
By the
Wait,
way, did you see that
what?
video the other day? Did you see that video the other day of Manny Ramirez talking to the guy in the Red Sox hat? And the guy had no idea who he was. Yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
Manny Ramirez, that guy. Talk about someone who will never retire. He is 48 years old and like
He's a beast. He's a beast. What do you
Roger Clemens was still pitching past 50 in the minors.
Moyer.
Not in the minors. It was in the beer league.
Yeah.
No. It was in
Independent league, yes.
yeah, but it was in a very good level of independent league, which is the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball, which has plenty of former major leaguers. A lot of Lou Ford time spent there.
Yeah.
All right. Can I talk about soccer yet?
No, but does anybody remember Manny Ramirez's time with the Rays?
Very brief. It was very brief.
Actually, yes, I do, because I really grew up loving Manny Ramirez, so I actually do.
I think
I had a Manny Ramirez Boston Red Sox T-shirt that I bought. I had a shirt. I bought it in Cooperstown. There were so many other options, and I went with a Manny Ramirez Boston Red Sox jersey in Cooperstown with all these Legends jerseys. You know, I could have gone with so many options, but I went.
That was your worst. That might have been your worst decision of your life.
You made the right call.
I have a Brett Favre Jets jersey.
Okay, if that's the worst decision you've ever made, you're doing something right, though.
I have a Brett Favre.
True. No,
I have
but
Brett Favre Jets jersey as well.
My quintessential Manny Ramirez memory was him in a Dodgers uniform, stepping up to play against the Rockies, takes the first pitch. It's on the outside corner. It's called a strike. He complains about it, gets ejected. That's his final moment as a Dodger.
I remember him riding a tricycle around the parking lot as a Dodger. Like an adult tricycle is a big one. Then I also remember him being suspended, obviously. And then I remember him always his helmet looking like vomit.
It was going to fall off, yeah.
I'd vomit on it.
Hayden's just waving. Do you have a Manny Ramirez memory, Hayden?
No, I don't.
Nah.
Sorry.
Manny being Manny.
We're just eating Matillo.
Are you guys at B-Dubs?
Yeah, we are.
I don't condone indoor dining during the pandemic.
Wait a minute. Manny Ramirez was on
literally no one in here.
Wait, I did not realize
the fact that he's wearing a Wentz jersey or
White Sox.
We've already been over
this. I thought, he may have been cut, but I don't remember Manny Ramirez the White Sox. I remember Manny Ramirez the Ray, but I don't remember Manny Ramirez the White Sox.
Do you remember Ken Griffey Jr. the White Sox?
Yeah.
Vaguely remember that.
You remember Manny Ramirez?
Adam Dunn?
You remember Manny Ramirez, the player coach for the Iowa Cubs?
I think I heard something about
that. Devote this much time on our show to Manny Ramirez.
He's a very fascinating
played in the majors in almost a decade.
We were talking about Thom Brenneman, and somehow we got to Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, because Manny Ramirez is trying to resurrect his career with Delman Young in Australia.
Right, just like Tom right, I'm out. See ya.
Is Miguel Tejada still around?
I'm gonna have to look him up.
I think we should move on, guys.
No.
This is right where we need to be. Jeremy knows this is right where we need to be. Jeremy, is Miguel Tejada still around?
I'll look at. I'm on it, Dano.
He's 46. I'm looking at his stats. He hasn't played in the majors since 2013. I'm gonna show the minors. 2014 was his last year in the minors.
Evan, don't go away. We gotta talk puck.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Miguel Tejada's been gone for well, he's not dead, but he hasn't played baseball in several years.
You almost killed him.
I said gone, and the term gone is a very
Miguel Tejada, a very good baseball player, Jesse.
Very much a steroid user. 5 times he was caught using steroids. He just didn't stop.
285 is a 285 hitter.
He also robbed the MVP. Look at his MVP here. He robbed the MVP.
He also played
5 players.
6 straight years of 162 games. That man was an Iron Man.
Yeah, probably because he was shooting it up.
On May 16th, 2014, Tejada signed a minor league contract with the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, he played for the Jacksonville Suns.
How about that?
Or what? They're now the Jumbo Shrimp, which is
The Jumbo Shrimp.
which I will get into if we want to go there. Jeremy, we're talking about soccer.
Sounders
Playing in the MLS Cup on Saturday. Very exciting stuff happening.
Hold on. Stop real quick. We need to here we go. We got to get the song ready. All right, keep going.
So Sounders playing on Saturday in the MLS.
Hold on.
Can't figure out how to turn the sound off.
Can't hear you. You got it. Okay, that's not working. We're gonna turn that off.
Turn it off.
I turned it off. Stop yelling at me.
Sounders playing the MLS Cup on Saturday against the Columbus Crew was supposed to follow Michigan and Ohio State, but obviously that game was canceled.
So it's following Utah and Colorado.
There's another game on Saturday in the afternoon before the MLS Cup on Fox, but
Utah, Colorado.
But I caught the end of that Sounders game on Monday night. It was a very thrilling ending.
But what Jesse's been wanting to talk about is the U.S. men's national team. Amazing performance in the first half, and then only one goal in the second half. Jesse, unbelievable.
Ready? Let's.
I mean, I don't know. I think his light fell. Jeremy, so the United States men's national team.
Yeah.
Disgrace to the country.
Yeah.
Disgrace to the world, honestly. Like, I mean, one of the biggest countries in the world has a great women's program. They can do it.
Jesse, would you score one goal against El Salvador?
Let me speak. I am getting into this.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Yes. The Usmunt, the U.S. men's national team, Usmunt. They scored 5 goals in the first half today of a game against El Salvador. Let's see the population of this country. I would doubt that it has over 1 million people in the country. It might have over 1 million. Let's see here.
Great radio.
It's hard on this here. Population. They got 6 million people, so we've got cities bigger here in the United States. We score 5 goals in the first half and only 1 in the second half against a country that small. If you're going to score 5 in the first half, you got to keep it on pace and score 5 more in the second half. This team is unbelievable. They're an atrocity. They're a disgrace to the beautiful game. They should be kicked out of FIFA. They're an unbelievable wash. Horrible team.
Did they win the game?
Yes, 6-0.
They
only scored 1 goal in the second half. We should be the best in the world.
I just want to say that if a country the size of El Salvador, like 6 million people is the same amount of people as Quebec, Quebec should have its own national soccer team. That's all I'm going to say. If El Salvador can have one, why can't we?
Texas should have one. California should have
Canada. You are in Canada.
We're a country within a country, Jeremy. We should have our own national
You're a province. It's different.
Vatican City has its own soccer team. They're not a member of FIFA, but they have their own soccer team.
Who?
Vatican City. It's where the Pope lives.
Oh, yeah.
So
have you been to Vatican City, Jesse? I have.
No. You didn't know what it was, and you.
I never said I didn't know what it was.
No, in all seriousness, like I'm actually very happy with their performance. Like this is getting us somewhere finally. This is like a convincing win. We haven't had one of those in a while, so
Was today
It
a
was
World
also
Cup?
with a bunch of our B team. Like this was a bunch of our B team. Like,
either El Salvador is really bad or we're actually progressing as a country.
our C team played because all of our other guys are overseas or in the MLS Cup. So
Speaking of overseas, do you want to talk about what happened between PSG and Başakşehir?
Yeah, we need to talk about, and then there's also a thing in a Chinese game today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues with
racism in soccer.
racism in soccer. Jeremy, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, it's
most
bad. It's
racist
always
sport,
been bad. It's always been bad. Racism in soccer has been bad since I've started watching.
This time was a little different because it wasn't a fan. It was an official on the field who did something. And that is just not acceptable at all.
What?
Like, it's bad enough when a fan does it. When it's somebody who's employed by the league and he literally called the N-word. He used a racial epithet to refer to Pierre-Achille Webo, which was ridiculous. Everyone on the pitch heard it. And Demba Ba, who's the head coach of Başakşehir, a black man himself, got up in his face and gave it to him. And after that, everybody left the pitch. So
and he gave it to him, and then the official goes, "Yeah, I said that."
Yeah, like he didn't see anything wrong with it,
Yeah,
even though
because that's how people grow up. That's how people just grow up thinking that it's okay to talk like that. It's ridiculous. And the most ridiculous thing of them all is, like you said, that it was an official. Things like this happen all the time, and people don't even say anything. Like, I'm sure officials have said stuff like this before, and people just don't say anything about it.
So, this was a Champions League match. So as far as club soccer goes, it's like the highest level. I mean, you could debate Club World Cup, but this is like the highest level of soccer played in the world. And somebody thought that this official was good enough to officiate a Champions League match. It's just bewildering. And, you know, we've had the homophobic thing in the USL match over here. You know, people want to say that NASCAR is this racist sport.
You can't compare the two.
We're not saying that the sport is racist, but there are definitely
has a racism problem.
It
is a problem, racism problem. And while other sports have it too, soccer has it way and it's just not talked about as much as it should be.
The players, it's not necessarily always the players though. It's like the fans, like in Italy, Italian fans make monkey noises at black players when they're on the field. Like, it's still really bad.
Like, it needs to be addressed, and like more than it is. And soccer's just so big, and there's so much soccer news that I think that a lot of it gets swallowed up by the fact that like there's so many leagues and so much news, and so like a lot of it gets swallowed up by just the sheer amount of soccer news that's coming in. But it shouldn't. It should be at the forefront, and they need to work on how to change it because it's horrible.
But again, like, you can only do so much to rein in the fans. If it's an employee of UEFA, you need to make sure this can't happen. Like, it's so embarrassing for everybody involved. And on top of that, it is a Champions League game. Like, everyone's watching. It's PSG, a team with an insanely large following. This should not happen. And I hope that official never officiates another game.
Well, like I was saying, like he owned up to it and didn't seem like he's like, what's the big deal? So that's the thing. It's like you don't know that these officials or people grow up like this because they don't think it's wrong. They don't know that it's wrong.
Like in that situation, like, again, I am always for education and second chances. I think that forgiveness is a great thing. And, you know, if this guy didn't think it was bad, I don't know how he didn't think it was bad, but, you know.
But you can't just give him a slap on the wrist. Like, you got to drop
he needs to be
gone.
Also,
He needs to go to educational classes.
props to the players for leaving the pitch and not waiting until after the game to say something. That was absolutely the right move, and they both teams deserve all the credit in the world for doing that.
Yeah, they needed to do something like that, and so, it's cool and that they left and everything. So, yeah, hopefully soccer changes.
Saint-Germain went on to win 5-1.
Yes.
Do we want to do any other segments today?
Bachelorette?
Didn't watch it.
Come on, man.
I never watched
I
it.
am so busy this week. I'm going to say that we'll talk about minor league baseball in next week. We'll do what are we doing next week. But as for today, this will be it. No polls.
I'm so disappointed.
Go
next week. But Jesse, just real quick, there's one episode this week, but there's two next week, Monday and Tuesday. So
Russell Westbrook plays his first game for the Wizards next week. How exciting!
I trust that we'll find time to talk about the NHL at some point.
We need to get to that. Evan, NHL talk. There was huge news today. I am so sorry about that. That's the whole reason I wanted you to come on.
Evan. Well, we got besides the fact that I'm awesome, obviously, but yeah, that goes without saying. Anyway, yeah, we got some confirmation today. It basically just affirms what we kind of already knew, that the divisions are going to be realigned. All 7 Canadian teams are going to be in the same division. And I just want to talk about who like the big winners and losers here are based on how the divisions are now. I think Colorado is the biggest winner by far because now they're in a division with all the California teams and the Coyotes. So they're going to cruise into the playoffs. Like it is not going to be close. Also, as a Montreal fan, I love that the Canadian division is happening because I don't know if you heard, but we swept the Toronto Maple Leafs last season. I think that has a good chance of reoccurring. Didn't do so hot against the Western Canadian team, so we'll see. The Northeast division or whatever, like all the teams like in the Northeast, that's going to be a bloodbath because it's like four or five teams for the Metro. Boston and Buffalo is going to be better this year, so that should be very, very interesting. And then I don't really know what to make of the division that the Panthers are in. Maybe Jeremy can provide some more insight on that. That's another one where I think Tampa made out like bandits. They're probably going to cruise through that division. Carolina's a good team. Columbus is a good team. Chicago and Minnesota, I'm not high on. Nashville, I'm not high on. So, yeah, I mean, Tampa and Colorado might be our Stanley Cup matchup, honestly. The way things look right now. And then the other thing that we got tentative confirmation on is that the start date is going to be January 13th.
It's going to be a 52 or 54, right?
Right. And it makes sense to me. I think it could have been a lot worse. But the fact that the NBA is going to be playing for a full month before the NHL drops the puck is a little bit worrying to me because the NBA is the league's most direct competition. And if your product's not being shown while the NBA has the stage all to themselves, that could have some negative consequences for the league. But again, they needed to get this all figured out. They still don't have everything in place. So I think the January 13th start date works pretty well.
Well, I wanted to say, though, that hockey is a harder sport on your body, in my opinion, than basketball is. And, they've had basically a similar layoff time. So I think this is better for the product this season, is to have the Tampa Bay and Dallas, be nearly a month more rested than the rest of the guys. Also, than the NBA. But also what I want to talk about is I saw a story, Evan, about how, youth sports they've kind of figured out that youth sports haven't really had very many outbreaks in COVID. But with hockey, there have been outbreaks with youth hockey and COVID. And because of the ice and the way it traps in, in the glass and, the way it traps in stuff. And so I just want to know what you think about that and the fact, they're not going to be playing in a bubble. And do you think that we, I don't know if we get through this like we have with the other sports. I think
Okay, well, there's going to be outbreaks. Like, I'm just going to say that right now. There's no possible way that they get through the season without at least one team having an outbreak, which is why there's likely going to be expanded rosters. So I'm not sure if they're going to do a taxi squad or just like expand the rosters from 20 skaters and 2 goalies to 30 skaters and 4 goalies or something like that. There are going to be teams that have outbreaks. It's just a reality of life now, reality of professional sports. And they will find a way to deal with it. Like, for the longest time before the bubble happened, people didn't think they were going to finish the season, and they found a way to do it. I have faith in the league to figure this out, and I have faith in all 31 teams to figure things out if an outbreak does happen.
I don't have faith in hockey players because hockey players are effing crazy, and they will go out and party and do whatever because they don't care. And maybe a lot of them have had it already because they've been going crazy over the offseason.
I swore back in March that if hockey players had COVID, they would play with it. And
well, there's just no way. That would just, like, the league, if that happened, and like, I mean, there's been football players that have played with COVID, but they didn't know.
As Bryant almost did yesterday.
They didn't knowingly play with COVID. So
think about this though. Think about how deep NHL organizations are in terms of players. Like, you've got ECHL, AHL, guys who are in juniors. You have 100 players you can call up if you need to. Is the on-ice product going to be the same? Is your team going to be as good? No. But you have the bodies to make it happen.
Marlins.
And that's why I think that they will be fine. Now, obviously, NHL players do have a reputation for partying a lot.
They have a reputation of playing with fractured body parts, too.
So do NBA players, though. Like, I mean, like,
that's what I'm saying.
And sport that's not really known to be like a big time party sport is football.
At the end of the day, they're adults, they're professionals, they know what's on the line here, and they want to win the Stanley Cup. Like, that's what they're playing for. So I trust them to make the right decisions when it comes down to it. I'm not worried. I think it's going to be a good season. I'm really interested to see how these realigned divisions work, and I think it's possible that they actually stick with these divisions after this season.
No.
In some capacity, because if you look at the map not for the Canadian division, like, they won't do that, but the Northeast division they have with like Washington, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia,
makes sense.
All the New York teams, like that would
Pittsburgh
work.
and Washington were split up.
No, not anymore.
Alignment.
Nah, they will be in the same division, which is good for everyone. They do a good job keeping established rivalries in place. So I do want to give them credence for that. We won't get Montreal-Boston, unfortunately, but I have started to hate Toronto even more than I hate Boston, so that's fine with me. Looking forward to sweeping those guys again, and I'm looking forward to getting this season started.
I think that also a reason why they waited so long is that they were waiting for a vaccine, and they had like an inkling as to, you know, things that are happening at hockey rinks and how outbreaks are happening in youth hockey and stuff like that. So I think they were trying to wait for.
It's possible we could have a vaccine by then, but
there's rumblings about vaccine getting pushed to professional athletes very quickly for some reason.
You know what will happen?
Like, there's no guarantee they would have access to it in time for the start of the season. But if they do, then that's even better.
No,
but I think even if they don't,
my guess is the leagues are going to probably buy the vaccine and give it to the players and staff and all the people.
So I have an idea. Like, of my list of people who should get the vaccine first are healthcare workers, obviously, and then older people, and then and then me, and then people who work in jobs where they come closer than 6 feet to someone else.
So grocery store workers.
Athletes,
yeah. Media people too, remember.
What do you say? Media people, honestly.
I'm an essential worker, guys.
I'm an essential worker too, essentially. Although I could work from home. I don't anymore.
By the way, 2 people had very high allergic reactions to.
They were okay, but they were both medical workers, and they were said to be recovering well. And it was just a warning from the UK.
They also said that if you've had a lot of allergies, that you
serious allergies.
So it's not too
Where's
big.
Hayden when we need her? We should have talked to she has a lot of allergies. We could have asked her.
It's not a super big concern. Also, what's great about this is that there is the Moderna vaccine that is 95% effective that they're rolling out soon, probably as well. And the Oxford and AstraZeneca, which is 70% effective, they're rolling that one out probably.
Back to the original thing we were talking about, though. I don't think the season is in jeopardy. I think it's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be any compromises here. I think they've got a plan that works.
No, it's, and like I've said, like I have no issue with professional sports pushing through this. I mean, it is their jobs. College and youth is another thing. I know there's people with jobs that are involved in it, but it's not the same. The actual players, the labor, they are not paid. So it's not the same. But yeah, this has been an extremely long show. Not our longest, but it's been an extremely long show.
And we didn't even talk Bachelorette because Jesse didn't watch.
I'm sorry. I worked 3 jobs.
No worries. It's all good. I'm just busting. All right.
All right. Well, good night, Canada, and their hockey division with just them.
Go Badgers.
On Wisconsin.